Hi guys, thank you for taking time to view my coaching video. I am Coach Adrian. Our clinics are developed to help you make life-changing choices that make you happy. Clinic number 4 discusses a choice relationship that guarantees a lifetime of smiles. What is the issue? You would recall in our last clinic, we established that the absolute truth acts as a benchmark for living. In this follow-up clinic, we challenge the nonconformist view, and I quote, that a relationship based on truth does not exist, end of quote. What are the underlying messages in this radical view? When we are socialized in a pessimistic outlook that one cannot establish a genuine relationship, society is saying a number of things to us. One, society expects us to live in a way that does not show who we truly are. In our daily life, in all our encounters, those who we relate to expect us to lie, to cheat, to steal, to betray, and to disappoint others. And we are also taught that those we establish relationship with, relationship of love, relationship within the family, business relationship, we expect them to lie to us, to cheat us, to steal from us, to betray us, and to disappoint us. So based on this radical reasoning, it says to us that truth cannot take a material form. That is, truth cannot be revealed in what we can see, what we can feel, and what we can touch. The radical view says to us, and society says to us, when it accepts that pessimistic view, that truth is not a phenomena that we can relate to. In this coaching clinic, we teach that in a relationship with Jesus Christ, the embodiment of truth, we are guaranteed a lifetime of smiles. In a philosophical sense, one can say that truth has an ideational form, but truth can assume a material nature. That is to say, what is truth can be sensed, it can be perceived, can be measured or experienced. In fact, your very existence as a person is a truth. And it is the evidence that truth assumes a material character and has a historical personality. You are a historical person. This is why the Christian literature teaches that this historical personality and the material character is important to our well-being, our understanding of who we are, and for the understanding of what we do. This is why Christian literature teaches that Jesus Christ is the personality of truth. That is, Jesus Christ is the absolute truth who take a human personality at the opening of the 1st century AD. So Jesus Christ is the embodiment of truth. Jesus Christ took human personality at the opening of the first century AD. Writing about 90 AD, John the disciple, the writer of the Gospel of John, presented Jesus as the Word, the truth, the way, and the life. In John chapter 1, verses 1 to 3, he says, and I quote, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was," that is the Word, "he was with God in the beginning, and through him all things were made." John is saying to us that the Word, the Logos, existed before anything was created. That Word was with the Father, and that Word through him or contributed or was part of the making or the creation of all things. In verse 2, John gives that Word a personality. He refers to the Word as he, and he gives the Word a gender, a male. In verse 14, John further identifies the historical personality that he referred to as the Word in verse 1. And I quote, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth." So John is saying to us that this Word, which existed before anything existed, which took part in the creation of all things, became a personality, in as much as he used he in verse 2, became a male, became a man, and lived in society, interactive society, and society interacted with him and beheld his glory. Another disciple, Matthew, gives us more detail on what John has established on the divine birth of Jesus. In Matthew chapter 1, verses 22, 23, and 21, we quote. Let's look at 23 first. Matthew says, "The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel," which means God with us. In verse 21, he says, "She," that is the virgin, "will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins." End of quote. So Matthew is saying to us that this Word that John spoke about, this Word that became flesh that John spoke about, is God himself, or have the essence of God, the same character of God. Matthew is saying that he is the Son of God, and he is called Emmanuel, which means God with us. But he came through the conception of a virgin. This is divine mystery. We cannot explain all of these things. It is divine mystery. The things of God are higher than us. His ways are higher. Then Matthew tells us there, because Jesus became a man, or the Word became a man, it must assume an identity. Just like you have a name for identification, you have a name for recognition. So he would have a name, and the name is Jesus, which means Savior from sin. So what are we seeing here? We are seeing that truth has a personality. And we can even ask, who is truth? And we can answer. the personality, Jesus Christ, the truth of God. And John didn't stop there. John told us that this word, which existed and was with God, was part of the creation of all things and became man so that he could save us, is the only hope for all people, for all ethnic groups, for all nations, for all people, irrespective of their color. And in John chapter 14, verse 6, John says to us, Jesus giving an answer to one of the disciples, Thomas, who asked him a question. And I quote, in verse 6, Jesus said, I am the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So what about Jesus Christ as the embodiment of truth that guarantees a lifetime of smiles? Well, guys, we all make mistakes that we cannot fix. We experience losses that we cannot recover. And we face pain, discrimination, tragedies, burdens, and disappointments that we cannot handle alone. A relationship with Jesus Christ is important to us because Jesus Christ helps us change our lives of fear, restlessness, and powerlessness. And he enables us to face our trials, solve our problems, and move on with our lives. In fact, in a period of uncertainty, period of depression, and suddenness of death, knowing that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life offers us a foundation for happiness now, in this life, and never-ending life in his kingdom. All these things have the combined effect of replacing our life of insecurity and sadness with a life of abundance, a life of abundance of happiness and joy, a lifetime of smile. Oh, I present to you someone to make you smile, someone to give you a lifetime of smiles. Normally, we end in reminding ourselves of the principles that help us make good decisions and good choices. The first is from William Penn. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. Right is right, even if no one is doing it. And likewise, truth is truth, even if no one believes it. A lie is a lie, even if everyone believes it. And we normally end with a word to the wise. Our word to the wise comes from Jesus himself. We are quoting John, who's reporting in John chapter 1 and chapter 10 and verse 10. Jesus announced to his listening crowd, my purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. Jesus offers us a rich and satisfying life. I present to you someone that will make you smile, someone that will give you a lifetime of smiles. Thank you for taking time to view our video. I would love to connect with you. Connect with me, Peter Adrian, via WhatsApp, 869-668-9752, or via email, peter@coachadrian.com. Thank you again for viewing. Please subscribe and like my video. Thank you. Until